Well, YouTube, this is what I woke up to this morning. My first check engine light for the 2020 Silverado 1500 with the Duramax. So this will be hopefully a culmination video, but I wanted to start out by showing you the symptom. So basically, if you lock the truck and then use your remote start, lights will flash and then nothing. So sitting in the house, decided, I gotta go take the trailer, go pick up some stuff, and nothing at all. So it is an artifact of having a diesel engine with a check engine light. They will not allow you to run the truck, at least remote start the truck, while that error condition exists. So we're gonna go ahead and hop inside and see what the truck's actually telling us. Well, I'm sitting here inside the truck just getting ready to take off, and here's what I'm seeing.
Don't have time to deal with it, but in 175 miles, I guess I don't really have much of a choice. I'm gonna have to decide to deal with it then or not. So I'll have to do some more stuff to figure out what's actually going on. Typically that's a DEF type of emissions notification, so NOx sensor, something like that. But gotta hit the road right now and see what I can figure out later on. And here we are, less than a half a mile away from my house, and message went away. So we still have the check engine light, so obviously the truck thinks that something was wrong. So I will again dig into that here shortly and try to figure that out. So looking here at the DEF level, my DEF level looks okay. Does not appear, well, it could have been something DEF related. So I did actually finish the rest of the drive to go and pick up the equipment that I needed, and now I'm going to get into how I evaluate and how I try to figure out what's going on with this thing. So I'll have my foot on the brake. I'm going to go ahead and hit the start button, and let's see what happens. So truck starts up. I'm going to get rid of the ICE message, and we have the service emissions. I have 175 miles until 65 mile an hour max speed. So this doesn't show up as an actual DEF issue, but it shows up as a check engine light. So this is the second time that I've actually started the truck, and I did go ahead and check the code. The code is P20BB as in Bravo Bravo, and that code corresponds to the heater that's actually in the DEF tank. So there's an error condition that's occurred with the heater and the DEF tank, and since the heater is not working, apparently it's going to go ahead and only allow me to go a short distance before I need to get it repaired. Now, I ended up driving out to pick up what I needed to pick up today, and the error message actually did go away. So it seems like it's kind of an intermittent thing, but it's enough to cause my automatic start to stop working, and also at least give me a nice scary message that there's a problem with the emission system and I probably need to get it fixed. So I just finished going for a quick drive. Let's see, how many miles is that? 7 miles, 8 miles. And the message is still staying on now. And if we take a look, to me, towing, because I still have the trailer hooked up, it still actually looks like the emission system is working properly. But we're going to go ahead and I'm actually going to shut the truck off, come back into torque here, look at the fault codes. I wouldn't recommend that you guys do this, only because
the fault code really needs to be in history. So there's the fault code that we're getting. I'm going to go ahead and make sure the ECU stays on. Going in the accessory or service mode. To do that, you hold down the stop engine button for, I think it's 5 seconds or something like that. So, and looks like this is definitely going to be some type of intermittent fault, because right now I don't have it. So we're going to go ahead and let's start it again. Ta-da! Magically not fixed. But what I was hoping to do, and maybe I'll do this as part of this whole video series, the goal was actually, so go ahead and shut it off, hold down for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds. We're now back into accessory mode. It tells me about ice because it is chilly out. What I really wanted to do is I wanted to clear the faults. Again, don't recommend that you guys do this. I'm going to do it because, you know, I'm willing to take the hit. So it goes ahead and it's talking to it, and you see some stuff flashing, and you heard the tone for the engine. Maybe the check engine light will actually go off. So it says that it's complete. We could do one more scan. So let me explain a little bit more why I don't recommend you do it. So it stored it as a historical fault. It's no longer an active fault, even though it showed up as an active fault the last time, which is good and bad because the dealership will see that the historical fault is still there. I believe with some of my other tools, I can actually get rid of historical faults also, but I don't want to get rid of a historical fault. What I'm looking to do is imagine yourself on the road and you get that message that says 175 miles. And I'm planning on taking a trip with this truck out to Yellowstone National Park later this year. If I'm on the road and I'm towing my camper and I get a message like that, or let's say you get a message like that, what do you do? Especially when you get into some of the parts of maybe North Dakota. So I think I'm going through South Dakota. I'm not positive within 175 miles I would be able to find a dealership, and you want to talk about an interruption to your travel. I am a huge proponent of diesel engines for efficiency, for towing, and everything else. Overall drivability. But this is one of the big issues with a diesel engine. This, along with the fact that, you know, General Motors is trying to protect their funding, their money, because if they have trucks out there on the road that are emitting more than what they're supposed to, you guys have all seen the Volkswagen Dieselgate, and also the Chrysler scandal with trucks or SUVs emitting more pollution than what they're supposed to. So that message that you're getting is a way to prevent General Motors trucks from emitting potentially too many emissions out of the exhaust. It's, you know, a semi-necessary evil. My big concern is, if I'm on the road, would I be able to clear the fault, and would I be able to continue to go? And I'm going to try to, since I've now got this great fault that I can come back, and tends to happen first thing in the morning for sure. Let's go ahead and start it up again and see if our check engine light is gone. And our check engine light has been reset. And I'm going to go one more time back here and refresh. Still shows up as a historical fault. Again, good and bad. Good from the standpoint of the dealership. We'll see that it has happened in the past. Bad that it didn't happen right now. But trying to enforce, you know, if you own a diesel engine and you need to get service, these guys have to be on the top of the priority list for any service center in order to get you back out on the road. Diesels are made, and trucks in particular, are made for doing work. And having a check engine light that limits your capabilities. Now, granted, on my way to Yellowstone, I'm probably going to be doing 65 miles an hour. But in other
in my Equinox as an example, if you get into the spot where they actually start doing speed limiting, and I've never had that yet with this truck, if you get into the spot with speed limiting, one of the other things that they take away from you to help encourage you to get the vehicle serviced or fill it up with DEF is actually the reason that the Equinox went into the speed reduction mode, because I like to test stuff like this. You actually lose cruise control. You're no longer to set your cruise control even at 65 miles an hour. You're able to set it potentially at something lower than that. But again, I haven't tried it with the Silverado and the LM2 Duramax engine yet. But you never know. At the rate we're going, there's a really good chance that I'm going to get a chance to do that, because I need to be able to call the service center and see if I can get an appointment to get the truck in there. And heaven forbid you throw a pandemic on top of it and the service centers are closed. Huge issues. So I hate to have to bring this type of information to you guys, but this is the real world. This is my experience with this truck, and I'm here to show you guys everything that I can about the half-ton Duramax Diesel. So I went ahead and hooked up my EFILive system to the truck, and just taking a look, you can see that there's a DEF 1 current. I'm not actually able to read the voltage that exists in the truck, and no check engine light today. So I did actually crank the truck up and go ahead and see if the fault would come back. So after clearing it, the fault is gone. We still do actually have historical data, and you can see that there's about somewhere around 9 amps currently being drawn by the DEF heater. One other thing that I'd like to bring to your attention is EFILive doesn't actually support the ECU for this particular truck or this particular engine. So what I'm actually doing is using a different model of ECU to get some of this data. Most of it appears to be accurate and correct, but some of it may not be. So just take that into consideration when you're watching this particular video. I'm going to go ahead and end it now. I'm planning on calling the dealership tomorrow to find out if they're able to get the truck into the service center and see if they can read that historical code and see if they can actually figure out how to fix my truck before it happens again. Thanks for watching. Make sure you guys subscribe, hit that bell notification so you find out when new videos come online, and also give me a thumbs up, and comments are more than welcome. Thanks everybody.